They'll be calling you a radical. I'm going to talk about the algae plume. I'm going to thank you, Alex Jones, for going up and touching that scumbag Karl Rove. I'm going to talk a lot about Karl Rove right there, as I'm going to talk about the algae plume. Remember when they drained the pond a few days ago and everybody was asking me what happened to the pond? Algae plume. What's going on? It's very dangerous. Of course the media won't report it here. The media doesn't report anything here in Utah. Freaking, they're in denial. You know, they can environmental poison the earth. You know, this is Mormonville. You know, that the first time I've been here for 4,000 years, they're all going to die and get their own virgins, call their wives in. So I want to say thank you to Alex Jones for that incredible piece. If you haven't seen it yet, Karl Rove called the cops on him for touching him. Karl Rove, with a C, who's not from Utah, who is, any other generation in the history of mankind, Karl Rove would have been prosecuted, freaking put in, you know, in the old days, who knows what they would have done with him. Treason, you know what they did for treason. But he's one of the greatest criminals that ever walked. He came right here. This is Weber State, Utah, right here. I want this in the public domain. And, you know, I was a young student here in those days, and he tried to debate here. We ran his ass out of freaking town. We ran him out of the state. So he set up a shop in Texas. So the pond, they had to drain it last week because of the algae plumes. Well, what are they going to do? Drain the Great Salt Lake? Drain the Utah Lake? This is a major, major story in this state. No, and I'll tell you why it's a major story. We have some of the biggest organic farmers markets in the world. Salt Lake, Ogden, we have giant farmers markets. And I'll tell you, it's unregulated. And I can tell you, my neighbor's an organic farmer. You know, milk, he sent, I think, what was it, 70 people to the emergency room not very long ago. It's unregulated, so they pump out of the Jordan River, out of the freaking great, you know, the tributaries that go into Utah Lake and farm. They don't care. Look, this is a major, major story. What's going on? Well, number one, they're hijacking all the water, but number two, this atmosphere's heated up. Now, you could talk about why, how, you know me. Keep boiling the Earth's water. You know, what's Fukushima? Fukushima's had a major effect. I want to thank Alex Jones for that great work on him. And I want people to, you know, to support this whole thing. When are you going to wake up and realize, I work for Fox News, when are you going to realize who Fox News is? I mean, how? Roger Ailes, that scumbag who's now being sued by Gretchen Carlson for, you know, touching her, you know? Look, these scumbags stole the freaking elections. It doesn't matter if you're right or left, they stole them. Anonymous blocked him from trying it again. Karl Rove bought the machines, he's a scumbag. I had students right here in my class when I was teaching here that freaking worked for his foundation. He's one of the greatest criminals who ever walked. What he did to the water, what he did to the country. I'm going to call the cops for you touching me. How many people is he responsible for being freaking dead in Iraq and Afghanistan? This guy's one of the greatest mass murdering rats, as his own ex-wife says. Karl with the small c, as I say. His ex-wife says that he simply has a very small penis. She says incredibly small penis. That's his ex-wife. He's not from here. He's from Colorado. Just like Mitt Romney's not from here. He's from Michigan. You know, Glenn, Radical, Insane Beck. They all set up shop in here. They're not from here. Oh, I'm from here. I'm native. I'll tell you how native I am. I've been in the bone marrow transplanted LDS, full of AML leukemia. That's how native. So the toxic plume is a major, major story. Karl Rove's a scumbag criminal rat. Any other generation in the history of mankind would have put him in prison. He would have been tried for treason. I mean, he's one of the greatest treasonous rats that ever... I mean, what he did as far as the voting machines, I mean, conflict of interest, he's a criminal. And Fox News, come on, they're run out of the House of Windsor. You know, Bill, freaking Oxford, freaking Walmart, freaking Rockefeller baby, Rosemary's baby, Russell's baby, please. Look up the Russell Trust, the Bush and the Clinton crime families, come on. You know, who propped them up? Fox News, Fox News, Fox News, please. I got a hunch Trump's working for them. So they're run right out of the freaking, who did we fight against in the Revolutionary War? Float up the Potomac, burned down 1812, you can go on and on and on. The Royals, they got it back. This is the globalist game being played. Fox News is run right by the globalists out of London. You know, they had, I mean, come on, King George on Balco, Marie Antoinette, Obama, Royal stands with King Solomon as the salmon are dying. Freaking, don't freaking sue the Saudi royal family. When I was teaching right here, 2000, I played blackjack with some of the 9/11 terrorists, and I used to tell people that crazy. They were pricks. I got into a fight with them out in freaking Wendover twice. Now it's been confirmed. They set up camp there, took the back roads. Everybody used to say that's crazy. I had students here. They flew them all out of the country. They detained 5 of them right here off this university. You know, these guys are scumbags. Kyle Rove is the scumbag. All roads lead here. This is a major story, that's algae plume. Utah Lake, I mean, it's never happened. This is so scary and so dangerous. You know, the Great Pacific Genocide, what's Fukushima? As you know, I call it Fuktonium. Nobody's going to report anything real. Mark my words, we're going to have deaths here in Utah. Lots of them, because the media refuses. Because that's what the media does. They refuse. You know, remember the pond? Never happened here before. Never. They had to drain it. They had to completely drain it recently. You saw it. You saw it. Look, the lowest form of life, scum, is Karl Rove. Oh, yeah. And algae. The algae plume is the very lowest form on the freaking chain, all the way down. Look, it's very simple, Ed Ricketts on freaking Balco, Kevin Blanche, the new Ed Ricketts. Look, as species die, predator species take over. The tide pools are empty in California. More whales have washed up dead. Here, let me show you what the OC is. Or OB, excuse me. The OB and the OC. The OB, you know, my place in San Diego. Let me show you what really has evolved. This is what you think it is. And all you fear porners who regurgitate the, you know, that's all you do. You regurgitate the gurgitation. That's all you do. Here's what you think it is. That's what you think it is. You know, that's what you think it is. Plastic wells. Remember the hammerheads washed up dead right as they flushed at Fukushima, Japan? The hammerhead, not sharks, the hammerhead whales washed up dead. You think it's all just plastic wells, blue wells? I mean, let's go vacation. So the comment will be on the 26th at Oceanside. I'll be there. Then to New York, I'm going to take on the Indian Point. I have a whistleblower inside at Indian Point is going to break ranks. So the lowest form of scum, don't touch me, I'm going to call the cops. I mean, you think about it. Thank you, Alex Jones, for that. I mean, it was wonderful. But think about that. This guy touched how many people's lives? This scumbag. Alito and Roberts shouldn't even be on the Supreme Court. This whole dynamic, the lies of Iraq, and Karl Rove orchestrated so much. He wrote his PhD right here at BYU. You can read it. His PhD says we have to co-opt the evangelical church, the Mormon church, so we can steal these elections. The Mormon church is 100% on the take. I debated Mike Lee right there. Mike Lee, you can look it up online. Mike Lee got $600,000 in a bank bailout. $600,000. Look it up. His house in foreclosure. Any media report that around here? By the way, Shurtleff got off. The ex-attorney generals are both under 11 things. It's a club. And if you don't believe it's a club here, you look up Danielle Willard, my great friend. The Cali, this cop shot her right in the face and just blew her away. Just for no reason, just killed her because he wanted to kill a young 21-year-old beautiful girl. Even the police department says in their internal investigation this was a murder. Even their own cops, now he's just suing the old cops. Even them, everybody says, even the internal investigation, who's the criminals? The judge, the system. Look, I like it how on the left, right, it's all George Soros's fault. It's all the Koch brothers. No, it's our fault. It's our fault for not holding these people accountable. You know, this Karl Rove should have been tried. These war criminals are freaking, you know, the Clinton administration, their Wall Street crimes. You know, Glass-Steagall, by the way, right here. Mariner, right here. Look up Glass-Steagall. Who's the guy standing between? Right there. All roads lead to this. Oh, yeah. I could write. Ed Abbey used to stand right here on the pond with Ed Abbey. Right there, right there. I mean, I go on and on and on and on and on. So, Mike Lee's house was in foreclosure. Media report that? Why, he's running on a fiscal responsible freaking platform. How about ISIS? They've invented Daryl ISIS. Doesn't even show up to his own freaking hearing on the consent way. San Onofre's a big deal. As California goes, we go. So, the lowest form of life is they took the field. They took it politically. They took it freaking socially. They took everything. And look, out in the street we meet, you know, and get off this bullshit. Oh, I'll call it by Soros. I'll call it by... Why don't we all take some personal responsibility? You know, it's our own fault for allowing this. You know, we just allowed it and allowed it. You know, this is a major story in Utah. Utah Lake, Provo, Happy Valley, BYU law. You know, Alito only hires out of his freaking staffers. He shouldn't even be there. Karl Rove stole that whole freaking position. It's an illegitimate Supreme Court, not my words. You know, the dissent in Bush Gore. I mean, Roger Ailes. I mean, these are criminals. We need to call out and record in history these criminals because the media refute. We're the media. Look at freaking Alex Jones freaking worship. He's the media, not Karl Rove. You know, Karl Rove was a treasonous liar. We need to record in history what a treasonous scumbag liar he is because we're the media, because the real media refuses to do it. So there's a youth conference up here today. So 85% of children under the ages of, well, young adults, 2 under the age of 30, the CDC says will experience cancer. You know, we all breathe the same air. This is a major story. The scum have taken over. You know, they've killed the great whales. They've killed, I mean, the sardines are 90% collapse. The fish numbers are in collapse. The salmon numbers are in collapse. I mean, all these animals are in collapse. So, what takes over? Predator species. The lowest form of life. Scum. The very lowest form on the chain. Karl Rove. Don't touch me. I'm going to call the cops. Thank you, Alex Jones. I loved it. You know, remember, Mike Lee's not your friend either, Alex. I mean, the Mormon church is completely co-opted. Completely co-opted. The CIA took them over a long time ago, and I can get into that. I know Schoolcraft. I stuck at his house. Schoolcraft lived right there. He's from here. You know, I can get into that, Hinckley. I knew freaking Hinckley very personally. I can get into all this in an epic way, and I will. You know, write a book. Yeah, I'm a little busy trying to freaking save the world from freaking cancer on the Fukushima. The cover-up of Fukushima. You know, the Obama administration, all these scumbags. The pond scum has taken over. Pond scum has taken over. Politically, socially, whatever. You know, out in the street, we fight. You know, don't touch me. I'm going to call the cops. My God, what a fucking criminal, huh? What a fucking criminal rat fuck. Stand tuned.